My intention is not hurt my opponent or my training partner. It's always putting him in a point where he feels like the checkmate, and then he taps out.
I had a guy in Savate. He came into the class and he was showing us this move that he learned from the Gracies. At the time, I didn't know who they were. This is the Gracies. Like, okay, so somebody over there, the Gracies. I don't know who the Gracies are. So he showed me this move, and it was pretty cool. I think it was the move he grabbed around behind the back and he escaped. Oh, it's pretty cool. But at the time, I had seen a lot of martial arts at the time, and everybody's got their little tricks. So I thought, okay, yeah, it's great, you know. But the move was pretty cool. I don't remember at what time, but my friends, I had 3 wrestling friends at the time, and I would kickbox with them, and they would try to take me down. I would try to punch them in the head, and we would play like that. And they would always take me down and roll me up in the ball. So they decided, they said, hey, you know, Dave, you know, we're gonna go to El Camino. We saw this ad in the paper. These guys are gonna take all comers at El Camino College, $100,000 if you beat them. You know, if you can beat them, no rules. You can do whatever you want. So you can do your punching, you can do your kicking, whatever you want to do. If you can beat them, you can make $100,000. So I thought, okay, well, it's interesting, you know. So we all went down. We all huddled together. We're up in the stands. We're all huddled together. We're kind of looking at each other. So okay, so what's the strategy? You know, we're gonna fight. So there's 2 tall guys and 1 short guy. So all my friends go, okay, so the strategy is we'll fight the small guy, and if we beat the small guy, then we'll fight the bigger guy. They go, oh, okay. So one by one, my wrestling friends went down to fight the smaller guy, and one by one, this smaller Gracie just ate him up alive. Within a couple seconds, he had it rolled up in a ball. It was choking him, arm lock, foot lock. He was just eating him alive really quick. So they were all fighting Hickson, by the way.
Aka corner. Gracie Jiu Jitsu, Hickson Gracie!
So they all came back, and then they go, hey, he says, you wanna go fight him? I says, well, no. All I know is how to punch and kick, and then I might get him, you know, because I'm fighting for real now, so I might get him. But fighting you guys, I have a good idea how much, you know how good I am on the ground. And if I piss that guy off, you know, I'm gonna be in deep trouble. So I kind of backed off. Soon after that, we went to, I found out Horian's number. So I gave him a call, and I called him at his house. And I went to his house, and they make you sign the waiver. Went in and started taking lessons with Hoist. So as soon as I started taking lessons with Hoist, it was like a big eye opener. I was always looking for a martial art that I could use. I wanted to fight. I wanted to learn how to defend myself. My uncle grabs me, or my cousin grabs me, or this drunk on the bar grabs me and throws me to the ground. He doesn't necessarily want to kill me, he just wants to beat me up. He doesn't have a knife or gun, you know, and if I only know how to punch and kick, so when we get done with the fight, it's a bloody pulp and a mess. If I'm young enough, if I'm fast enough, if I have better timing than the other guy, I just didn't like the odds of me winning a fight. So when I started taking lessons with Hoist, I mean, showed him all this stuff, and almost immediately I fell in love. It's all the basics, but it's the stuff that really works. I mean, it's the stuff that we use every day. It's the most kind of, I was telling you, it's the most useful martial art that I've ever seen. For me, I mean, and I've done, you know, I shoot and I take knife fighting and stick fighting and stuff like that. But for me, the most useful part for me is Gracie Jiu Jitsu. Jiu-Jitsu is like one of the best things I ever did in my life, you know. Like, you know, the Gracies kind of gave me a gift, you know. It feels like a gift. It's such a big change. It's such an enhancement to my abilities that it feels like a gift. I know I pay money and I pay for lessons and stuff like that. And for me, what I get out of that is I'm friends with Hickson. Hickson's like my family. So it's like, how would I put it? I don't care about if I'm the first black belt in the United States. I don't really care if it was the first black belt from Hickson. I wouldn't say I don't care that I'm Hickson's black belt, but I don't really, you know, he's my friend. He's taught me a lot of good values, and I really appreciate everything that him and his family has done for me, you know. The funny story is when I started doing jiu-jitsu, they actually paired me up with Hickson. I started taking privates, and I started doing more privates with Hickson than anybody else. And then he did group classes, and I started taking his group classes. And it just I kind of liked the way he taught. Some people like Horion, some people like Boyce, some people like Hoyler. I liked Hickson the way he taught, because I don't know what it is about his way he teaches. It kind of clicks with me, you know. But I really never knew he was the world champion. I had no idea who was the best. I didn't know for years. I was taking jiu-jitsu for years, maybe 4 or 5 years, and I had no idea. It's the one art where if you go to MMA, UFC, if you don't have Gracie Jiu Jitsu training in the MMA, you don't go to the MMA, not for very long. You're gonna lose real quick in short order. One requirement you have to know is Gracie Jiu Jitsu to go to MMA. It's a definite requirement. In the United States, there was a lot of martial arts: kickboxing, taekwondo, karate, judo, a lot of different martial arts, right? I can keep on naming all these different martial arts here in the United States. When Gracie Jiu Jitsu came to the United States, it put the United States to shame. I mean, in my opinion. I mean, literally just took over the United States, pretty much the world. It's so effective for people, enhances your ability. You know, kids and women, old people, and smaller guys. It's so effective that you could talk about El Camino. At El Camino, they had $100,000. You can come to the gym, and you can fight them, no rules, anything you want to do, and if you can beat them, $100,000. They beat everybody who came. They have videos of every single one of them. They beat every single person that came around. And they really didn't hit him. They didn't hit him, they didn't kick him, you know, maybe a little bit just to try to loosen him up a little bit, but not like you would see in a normal fight. I mean, it was just amazing. You know, it was like, okay, so he beat the guy, and all he did is slap him in the back of the neck, take him and squeeze his neck, and the guy would give up. And these guys were like 7th, 8th, 9th degree black belts and all their different arts, and they just demolished them very, very easily, very simply, and say very humanely, just kind of finished them and made them give up. Gently, yeah, exactly. Gently, you know, gently put them to sleep, gently squeeze their arm, and didn't even break their arm, just hold their arm and say, hey, you got to give up. You know, the guy can't get out, he tries to get out. No, you really need to give up because I'm gonna break your arm. And then the guy fights some more and says, no, you really, really need to get up because I don't want to break your arm. You know, so I mean, it's so much control. So. I think I would try to explain somebody that way, and try to help them understand exactly the effectiveness of the art. And I would say if there was one art that you had time to do in the world and you didn't have time to do anything else, I would do Gracie Jiu Jitsu.
A lot of fighters, they feel comfortable to fight away, kicking, punching, and stay away from you. The ground is pretty much home for us. I want to get close to my opponent, and once I'm close, I can either go to your body, to your legs, or even to your head. And once I'm here and I take you to the ground, you're in my territory, and then here I can choke you out, I can give arm bars, I can go a knee lock, any joint, that's Gracie Jiu Jitsu.